The British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Good morning, I'm Vivek Nakra and these are your morning headlines. The Vancouver Park today is trying to keep communities hydrated throughout these warmer months. Reporter Lauren Achille talks about how the city is making drinking water more accessible.
Thirsty? Well, not to worry. Vancouver's Park Board is preparing the city for summer weather with temporary water fountains, hand washing, and bottle filling stations. There are currently 200 permanent drinking water fountains available throughout the city, but more are being added. They'll be specifically located to benefit the elderly, youth, and people experiencing homelessness. It also encourages people not to buy plastic, single-use water bottles. The temporary fountains and stations will be placed in 16 additional locations. Lauren Achille, BCIT's The Crow.
Increased humidity and cooler temperatures are expected in parts of province in the coming days. BC Wildfire Services says that low-pressure system moving into the northwest expected to aid firefighting efforts. According to them, the condition remains unseasonably dry for the time of the year, raising the risk of fires sparking and spreading. There are more than 120 active wildfires across BC, including fire outside Fort Nelson and Petrie Creek fire. People are boycotting Loblaw as they are not afford that. Reporter Tammy Mack tells us how the decision to stop shopping at Loblaw is more than just a political stance.
Consumers that are fed up with soaring grocery prices are boycotting Loblaws as a display of collective action against the conglomerate. However, for some shoppers, the decision to shop at other grocery stores is more of an economical choice than a political stance.
I felt like that's just the way it is until I found alternatives. I thought like, oh, that's just the way things are now. I thought that was the common price of food because that was just my go-to grocery. Lower grocery bill. I can just go back to my normal ways of eating and just be spending less than what I normally would if I were to be shopping at Superstore.
Gajar has turned to other grocers as a way to make his hard-earned dollars go further. Tammy Mack for BCIT's The Crow.
A wildfire that forced the evacuation of 4 neighborhoods in Fort McMurray is still burning out of control. Christy Strucker, a wildfire spokeswoman, says that rain overnight helped the crew make some progress.
Today, winds from the east and rain showers are expected in that area throughout the day, and it'll give firefighters a chance to make further progress containing the fire. I'm pleased to say that due to the hard work of firefighters, the Kleskin Creek fire, 4 kilometers east of the town of TP Creek, is now classified as being held.
The tourism industry is rolling out a roadmap to bring more visitors to Canada. Country's largest annual tourism convention is being held in Edmonton today. Destination Canada and federal government is set to unveil a plan. The plan aims to extend the travel season, increase the length of stays, and attract more people to a broader range of sites. Saskatchewan's legislative speaker has cut off his party membership ahead of the last day of spring sitting. There has been increasing tensions between Randy Weeks and government ranks. He's a member of the governing caucus but must remain independent and impartial in his role. He ordered the finance manager to apologize in the House last month for sending him a text over how Speaker was overseeing the legislature. The man that attempted to assassinate the Prime Minister of Slovakia has been charged. Robert Fico has been a divisive figure in Slovakia for so long. His return to power last year led to even greater worries among European Union and NATO members. Jens, NATO Secretary General, says he is shocked and saddened by whatever happened.
Let me also express my solidarity with Slovakia, because we are all appalled by the shooting of the Prime Minister Robert Fico. I have worked with him for almost 20 years. We were colleagues together when we were Prime Ministers many years ago. And we are shocked and appalled by the shooting.
3-time Oscar winner is set to join the board of Canadian Film Centre. Director Guillermo del Toro will be appointed as the board of directors at an annual general meeting in October. He says that he is happy to help support the next generation of storytellers through his work with the organization. He was born in Mexico but has done many short office projects in Canada.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
This is sports on 1680 The Crow.
Good morning, my name is Zach Arabko, and here's today's sports updates to 10:40 a.m. Starting with Vancouver sports, the Vancouver Canucks are preparing for Game 5 against the Edmonton Oilers tonight. The Canucks had a disappointing ending in Game 4, losing 3-2 off of a last-minute goal scored by Oilers defenseman Evan Bouchard. Canucks coach Rick Tocchet was disappointed after the loss, saying there was 5 to 6 guys on the team who needed to improve their play. Tocchet is expected to give the net to rookie goaltender Arthur Seelovs in tonight's game. He alluded to injured goalie Thatcher Demko making big strides in the last 72 hours, and did not rule out Demko for a potential Game 6 or 7. Tonight's lineup has yet to be announced. The puck will drop at 7 p.m. The Vancouver Whitecaps lost 1-0 against the Colorado Rapid last night in Colorado. The game's lone goal was scored on a penalty by Rapids forward Rafael Navarro. Whitecaps defender Bjorn Inge Utvik received a red card after an unintentional handball. After the game, Whitecaps coach Vanni Sartini was proud of his team's effort in the first half.
We played well. I think it was a very good match. We knew that it was going to be kind of a little bit vertical. They are a very aggressive team, but they also are aggressive when they defend, so they can be beaten in behind. To be honest, really, really good in neutralizing them for 44 minutes.
The Whitecaps played their next game on May 21st against the Canadian Cavalry in the quarterfinals of the Canadian Championship. Vancouver Bandits training camp is underway at the Langley Event Center. The Bandits are looking to improve from their 8-12 record last season. General Manager and head coach Kyle Julius says he is excited to get to work with his revamped roster.
We feel like we've made some pretty significant upgrades, and we've brought back the guys that really want to come back and appreciate being here. We feel like we've done a lot of little things that should impact winning tremendously.
Julius also says 3 guards in his back court, Zach Copeland, Kobe McEwen, and Taze Moore, will make their team more dynamic. They join 15 players at the training camp. British Columbian players such as Adam Olsen and Drew Urquhart are joining this group as well. The Bandits will open their season at home court on May 23rd against the Montreal Alliance. The Vancouver Canadians are in the midst of a 7-game series against the Spokane Indians. Fresh off of a 6-2 victory last night, the third game of the series is tonight at 6:35 p.m. Ryan Jennings is expected to start on the mound for the Canadians. In other sports news, Canada's best swimmers have been competing against the clock to qualify for the Paris Summer Olympics. Kylie Mass secured her spot on the Olympic team, winning the women's 100-meter backstroke at the Olympic trials. Mass says she is pleased with her sub-58-second time.
It's been a long time since I've been at 57. It's been 3 years, so it feels really great to have put that up and to have had just 2 really consistent swims today in the morning and then have been able to go faster tonight. I'm really happy.
Mass joins other big names in the Canadian swimming scene like Summer McIntosh and Penny Alexiak at this year's Olympics. The second major of golf's calendar year is underway in Louisville, Kentucky. Xander Schauffele is off to a hot start, leading the field at 9 under par. Schauffele's 62 strokes ties the lowest score in men's major championship history. 6 Canadians are participating in this major. Adam Hadwin, Corey Connors, and Adam Svensson are currently tied for 20th at 1 under par. Taylor Pendrith is sitting even, Nick Taylor is 1 over par, and Mackenzie Hughes tees off at 11:07 a.m. Lastly, longtime Canadian sportscaster Darren Detition passed away this morning at the age of 57. Detition announced he was fighting prostate cancer in 2021. He was the longtime host of TSN Sports Center and covered many notable events such as the 2010 and 2012 Olympics. He was an inspiration to many upcoming sportscasters, myself included, and he'll be sorely missed. That concludes today's sports update. My name is Zach Arabko, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikka-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikka-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.